Hi there, I'm Stacy, the encaustic mixed media artist behind Studio Stacy. Encaustic literally means to burn in. So I paint with beeswax and a torch, and because it's mixed media, pretty much anything else I can get my hands on. If you're new around here, welcome. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. Consider subscribing and joining this artsy community. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, which helps me get introduced to more like-minded artsy folks like yourself. Hi y'all. I don't know if you can see that mess back there behind me, but I left the studio in a bit of a disarray. So today's plan is to get this mess cleaned up, and happy December, by the way. Can't believe it is December. Crazy. I also have a mess back here on the floor. As you can see, I gathered up some last minute kind of leaves and decided to soak them in that glycerin bath that I have. And they're now dry, so I need to get this mess put away because there are no longer trees available to preserve. I'm glad I did it when I did it. I thought that I could also discuss, well, I'm probably going to just maybe put you on time lapse while I clean up this mess. I don't know, but I thought I might also discuss what's going to be going on this month of December. I don't know if you've heard of Vlogmas, but it's a little thing here on YouTube where people do daily vlogs, and it's called a Vlogmas. I am not going to be doing daily vlogs, but I am hoping to bring you a couple of videos a week at least, maybe more, most likely probably just 2 videos. Most likely a typical studio video, and then maybe some holiday cheer, what we're kind of getting up to this month of September. More of a vlog kind of style there. So if you're not subscribed, consider subscribing. And if you are subscribed, hit that bell down there. There's a little notification bell. And if you hit it, that'll notify you when I release a video. So then you'll get notified, because I'm not sure I'm going to have an exact schedule for these vlog style. Just going to depend on what's happening that week. So I'm hoping that you guys are good with that, and I'm hoping also that the YouTube algorithm doesn't get too mad at me, but you can expect videos every Tuesday. I'm thinking most likely videos every Tuesday. Sorry, this lighting is weird today. There we go. Anyways, videos every Tuesday as my normal video release schedule, but I'm not sure what's going to happen kind of the rest of the week when I'll release those little, call it bonus videos. So anyways, that's what's going on here in the month of December. One work surface cleaned off for the most part, and then if I pan over to this one, the last thing I want to do is clean up this pile that has been there forever. So yeah, I'm gonna get that stuff put away back there. And that pile is from the jelly plate prints of the leaves that I did, I don't even know, like a while back now, probably 2 months ago, and it's just been sitting there. So no reason for it to continue to sit there at the moment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tape some of the experiment pieces into my large sketchbook, make a quick note of what the experiment was, and then put the rest of the jelly plate prints away into folders. So that's the last, I think, and final thing I'm gonna clean up here in the studio today. So let's get to going on that. Alright, I got these taped down into the sketchbook, and I just jotted a note down and the video date that I made this video, basically what the video was called. So if I want to go back and reference that myself, I can when I get back into these leaf prints, which I will be doing at some point in time. And if you haven't seen that video and are interested in that, I'll try to remember to link it down below, stick a card up here somewhere, over here, here, wherever that goes, up there somewhere. And so you can click on it and watch that if you're interested in this watercolor. It was clear gesso, acrylic gesso with watercolor paint, and then jelly plate prints, and then I embedded them into the encaustic wax. So I'll link that if you're all are interested in how that went. Right, and then I still have these leaf prints that I did. This is the tulip poplar leaf. These prints are the sycamore tree leaf. So I'm going to put them away in their perspective folders, which I keep in these map drawers over here, labeled current work in progress. So if I open this up, I have these folders and they're labeled. Actually, this first one on top happens to be sycamore, so pull that out. American Beach, don't need that. Oh, here we go. Tulip poplar, need that one. Alright, I'm calling it in the studio for today. If you can hear that tinking on the roof, it is starting to rain, so I'm going to make a mad dash back over to the barn dominium before I get completely soaked. The studio is nicely cleaned up back there and on the floor, and if I keep spinning back over here, it is also cleaned up. So work table is cleaned up. If you're wondering about those leaf prints and what I'm going to be doing with them, I am going to be getting back into it, along with making more leaf prints of the leaves that I put away in the beginning of this that I had preserved. So my plan is to get back into making art with those leaf prints. I'm not sure when, because I also have a million other ideas rolling around in my head, and I'm just going to go kind of where my creative muse takes me this winter. That's my plan. You may see a whole lot of unfinished projects from me this winter. I don't know. I do also want to get back into redoing some of the artwork that I had pulled out. I think it was the previous video here. Like the two paintings, I just took the tape off. I want to get into redoing some of that so that I can kind of move that artwork aside, you know, kind of check that off the list, if you will. That's what I'm trying to say. So look out for that as well. Who knows what's coming down the pike here, but at any rate, I'm going to let you go here, and I will probably pick you back up if it's not extremely pouring down rain when I come back in the studio tomorrow. I'll pick you back up tomorrow. For you, it'll just be a few moments, so stay tuned. Morning all. It is a frosty morning out there, and later today it is supposed to snow, maybe the first snow of the season, which if you know me, you know I'm very excited about. Can't wait for it to snow here. I'm actually hoping we have a quote-unquote better winter than last year. In my opinion, a better winter would be more snow. Really hoping we can get out some of the cross-country skis and go skiing, but at any rate, I always pick up the camera and talk about the weather, and I don't mean to be, but I'm very excited for it to snow, hopefully later today. So in the studio, and I got in here the other day and did some sketches. So let me flip the camera around and show you those. All right, here's the sketches that I did, and I took a photograph that I had used, and I'll try to remember to insert those photographs in here now of the sycamore tree that is on our property, and it's, you know, perfect time to take pictures of these trees without the leaves on them. So getting back to these sketches, I did them first in just a regular old this is Prismacolor turquoise pencil, and just, you know, sketched them out, just some kind of close-ups of the branches and things, and just, you know, turn the, and this is, I should say that this paper is, oh sorry about that glare, it's just inexpensive rice paper, nothing too fancy about this paper, but that's what I sketched on here. And then I took and used these two Faber-Castell's pens, Pitt pens, and did some ink line drawings of, again, the various different branches and things like that. And I did these because I want to try to do a watercolor one, and I might place this rice paper over top of these and do watercolor over to like trace them. So let me flip the camera on and talk to you. So what I was saying is I want to take some watercolor and a watercolor brush, and I'm not a watercolor artist, as you all know. So this is just going to be a big old experiment here using this rice paper again, and I'm using this inexpensive rice paper just to experiment with watercolor. But what I want to do is put it over these ink drawings, and this, if I put it over the pencil drawings, I was afraid that the graphite would bleed, and this ink is supposed to be waterproof. So that's today's experiment. I don't know how it's gonna go, and like I said, I'm not a watercolor artist, but this rice paper, it says it's good for watercolor, so I'm gonna try it out and see what happens. And if any of you have any tips for a watercolor, definitely let me know down there below in the comments. What I'm thinking of how this is going to go to turn into a possible future painting is I want to practice doing a bunch of these different sketches, maybe different scales of these tree branches onto rice paper. And it probably won't be this inexpensive rice paper, and then it'll probably be a more expensive rice paper, I guess is what I'm saying. Maybe perhaps a thinner rice paper. But I want to then embed that into encaustic painting. And my thought is to kind of collage these you know, various different watercolor sketches along with the jelly plate leaf prints down kind of as a first layer or background, maybe a second or third layer even, and then, you know, do more over the top of it. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know if it's actually gonna happen or not, but that's the idea that I have in my head, and we'll just see what happens. But yeah, so first things first, I'm gonna practice with some watercolor here in the studio today. All right, I thought I'd show you supplies. First, I got out this sketchbook, and it just, you know, has some random things in it. But my goal for this past year, and maybe for 2025, seeing as how I didn't do a very good job this past year, is to try to keep filling this up. So I have all these empty pages. And this was initially just like a collage kind of sketchbook. But I think probably what I'm going to do is just put whatever I want in it and ignore the collage part. It doesn't have to be collage. So, but at any rate, the reason I have it out is because this rice paper, as you can imagine, is quite thin. So I thought I would just put it on here while I traced over these, so that if any bleed through came through on the watercolor, it just bled through onto a blank sketchbook page. So why not? So sketchbook for that reason. And then I got out my pan of watercolors. It's just in this tin here. And I have a color chart here to go with the colors. This was a travel set that I made way back when, but at any rate, I got out these three colors, which is green gold, Venetian red, no, sorry, green gold here, Venetian red, and this I think is the nickel azo yellow. Hopefully I'm saying all those names correctly. Then just a little bit of water down in here, and of course my sketches. This is a piece of that rice paper, and 3 different paintbrushes. I don't think these are necessarily just specific to watercolors, so no idea how they're going to work, but that's the supplies that I've got. And again, if you actually had just started, I think it just started, I don't know if that's rain or snow. Looks like rain looking out the window, but at any rate, not why I picked up the camera and pointed it at me. The point there was, if you have any tips, any, you know, specific brushes you like for watercolor, anything like that, definitely let me know down there below in the comments. I'm happy to take any and all tips and tricks for a watercolor, because I am definitely not a watercolor artist, nor have I actually experimented a whole lot with watercolor. So this will be a new thing. Anyways, let's get to painting finally here. All right, all. I think I learned a few things here. Definitely, again, not a watercolor artist. Yeah, I painted on there's a smooth side and a rough side to this paper. And again, if any of you have any tips and tricks, like as far as what side of the rice paper or calligraphy paper you're supposed to paint on, definitely let me know. I know I'm asking y'all a lot of questions here, but I have no idea what I'm doing, clearly. So I painted on the rough and the smooth side. I didn't find a whole lot of difference between the two. Again, could be my technique. I also took and sprayed one of the pieces and pretty much soaked it in water before I painted the watercolor on. I actually liked doing that. That seemed to kind of give a slightly different effect. And I did notice the more water I put on my brush, the more the paint just like kind of blobbed out onto the paper, if you will. So I think for me, less water is better. I have more control over it. Also, the smaller brush seemed to work a lot better than the bigger brush for obvious reasons. These are smaller lines. I think maybe I would practice making some larger lines as well. Yeah, I definitely need to practice a whole lot more. So hope y'all are up for that, because there could be a whole lot more watercolor practice paintings going on. But definitely, if you have any tips, please let me know. I know I keep saying it, but I really do mean it. And I would take any criticism that you have, no problem there. Other than I'm blabbering too much, which I know is probably a problem. Anyways, yeah, I mean, it's worth doing, and I'm gonna keep practicing at it. And I don't mind how they're coming out. Let me flip the camera around. All right, so this was just on dry paper. This one is the one that I soaked. Matter of fact, it's still a little wet. And I like how this came out. This was painted on the smooth side of the paper. This was painted on the rough side. The rough side may have a little bit more absorbency, causing the paint maybe to spread a bit more than the smooth side. I don't know. It's really hard to tell. This was one of the first ones I did, and so hard to say there. I think, again, just keep practicing. And it strangely enough, it didn't really bleed a whole lot onto this sketchbook paper, or onto the sketchbook. It did, however, bleed onto these that I was tracing over, which I, expected it to do. So yeah, and I don't know, is more water better? Is less water better? Y'all let me know. All right, all, I think I'm gonna let you go here for this video vlog. I know it wasn't a very long one, but I want to get it edited so I can make sure to get it up for y'all and start the next vlog, which hopefully you'll get a couple this week. So if you did like the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, comments, any tips, tricks, techniques, definitely let me know down there below in the comment section. Consider subscribing if you're not already, and yeah, we'll see you on the next one. Thank you guys so very, very, very much for coming along. Hopefully this was at least entertaining for you all. All right, bye for now.